Hello friends, welcome back to another video. In this video, we will continue our discussion about Shamsuddin Iltutmish. So let's get started. In the last video, we discussed about the challenges faced by Iltutmish and also discussed how he dealt with those challenges. So far, we discussed about Tajuddin Yaldoj, who was the ruler of Ghazni. After that, Nasiruddin Kabacha, the governor of Uch and Multan. And lastly, we discussed about the Mongols, how Iltutmish saved the infant Turkish Sultanate of Delhi from the Mongols by not entertaining the Jalaluddin Makbani, who was the Khwarezm prince. So we will continue from that point only and look into the Bihar and Bengal. So Aibak appointed Ali Mardan as the governor of Bengal. But after the death of Aibak, Ali Mardan set up as an independent ruler of Bengal, assumed the canopy of state Chhatr, and read khutbah in his name. Not only this, he stopped sending the tribute to Delhi. However, he proved to be a tyrant ruler and was displaced by his officer Khalji Amir, known as Evaz, who assumed the throne under the title of Sultan Ghiyasuddin. He proved to be a very successful ruler. Taking advantage of Iltutmish's preoccupation with the northwest, Ghiyasuddin extended his authority over Bihar and exacted tribute from many of the neighboring rulers. After the situation in the northwest had settled in 1225-26, Iltutmish recovered southern Bihar and appointed Malik Alauddin Jani as his governor. Ghiyasuddin also accepted the nominal sovereignty of Delhi and also agreed to pay tribute to Delhi. But as soon as Iltutmish's back was turned, Ghiyasuddin repudiated his suzerainty and ousted his officials from Bihar. Iltutmish asked his son Nasiruddin Mahmud, he was the eldest son of Iltutmish, then governor of Awadh, to watch the situation. Nasiruddin Mahmud he launched a surprise attack upon Lucknow in 1226 when Ghiyasuddin was campaigning in Kamrup and Bang. Kamrup is today's Assam and Bang, East Bihar. And so at that time, Lucknow was undefended. Nasiruddin Mahmud made a sudden move and occupied Lucknow. Ghiyasuddin came back and fought a battle, but he was defeated and he was imprisoned and executed. Iltutmish appointed his son to be the viceroy of Bihar and Bengal, but due to his sudden death, there was another uprising at Lucknow, which was suppressed by Iltutmish himself in 1230-31. After that, he appointed two separate governors, one for Bihar and other for Bengal. Now, we will discuss about the Gangetic Valley and Central India. Qutbuddin Aibak avoided direct confrontation with them and suffered the loss of towns like Kannauj, Banaras, Kalinjar, and Gwalior. Under the weak rule of Aram Shah, the Turkish armies were turned out of Rajputana. Iltutmish launched a full-fledged campaign against the Rajputs in 1226. Ranthambore was recovered from the Chauhans first. Mandsaur, the headquarters of the Parmars, was acquired next. The Chauhan ruler of Jalore was compelled to acknowledge Turkish suzerainty. Thereafter, the territories of Bayana, Ajmer, and Sambhar were reconquered after many a bloody engagement with the Rajputs. A big slice of Jodhpur state, including the town of Nagaur, was annexed by 1230. The Parihar ruler of Gwalior was subjugated in 1230-31 after a year-long siege of the fort. Iltutmish led an attack on Nagda, the capital of Guhilots, but suffered a defeat at the hands of Rana Shet Singh. Iltutmish army was also repulsed with heavy losses by the Chalukyas of Gujarat. Nevertheless, he carried out an expedition into Malwa in 1234-35 and plundered the towns of Bhilsa and Ujjain. The campaign in the Gangetic Valley was launched under the charge of Nasiruddin Mahmud. The territories of Badaयूं, Kannauj, and Banaras were conquered from the Hindu chieftains. Katehar, Rohilkhand, with its capital Ahichhatra, was also conquered after a long struggle. More than a lakh of the Turkish soldiers are said to have lost their lives in this campaign. In 1235, Iltutmish made an attempt to bring the Khokhars under his subjugation. The town of Banyan, which constituted the nucleus of their power in the Salt Range, was taken. Albeit the Khokhars showed no sign of appeasement. Exhausted by continuous warfare, Iltutmish fell sick, returned to Delhi, and breathed his last in April 1236. He was buried in the magnificent tomb which he had got constructed for himself in Delhi. Now, we will discuss some more points or details about Iltutmish. Iltutmish laid the foundation of an absolute monarchy of the Turks in northern India. He made all the key appointments of central ministers and regional military governors himself. The Wazir, Prime Minister, Sadr-e-Jahan, head of ecclesiastical affairs, and the chief Qazi, held office during his pleasure and were responsible to him directly. He did not permit the Turkish nobility to interfere in the state affairs beyond certain limits. Iltutmish created an entirely new class of the ruling elite, which comprised his own Turkish slave officers, headed by their 40 powerful military leaders, nicknamed the Chalisa, Chehelgani, or Turgane Chehelgani, the 40s. They held charge of the Iktas or regions into which the kingdom was divided and wielded great influence at the court. Iltutmish secured a letter of investiture from the Abbasid Caliph al-Mustansir Billah of Baghdad in February 1229, who bestowed the titles of the Sultan of Hindustan and the deputy of the leader of the faithful, Nasir Amirul Momin. It accorded a legal recognition and spiritual sanction to the Sultanate of Delhi as a distinct entity independent of Ghazni. It also strengthened his position and ensured the succession of his offsprings to the throne. Iltutmish was thus the first legal sovereign of the Indian Turks and real founder of the Sultanate of Delhi. The investiture ceremony was celebrated in Delhi with great rejoice. Iltutmish introduced a purely Arabic currency of gold and silver. His standard silver tanka weighed 175 grains. He had desecrated the magnificent Hindu temples at Bhilsa and Ujjain, but he did not resort to idol breaking just to satisfy the whims of his fanatic co-religionists. Iltutmish was a patron of art and learning. He extended liberal patronage to Amir Khusro's father. He also beautified Delhi by setting up new buildings. He completed the construction of Qutub Minar and enjoyed his association with the Sufi saints of the day like Qutubuddin Bakhtiyar Kaki. The Hauze Shamsi and the Madrasa was built by Iltutmish. Iltutmish was a man of courage and foresight. He unified the Turkish leadership under one central authority and saved the infant sultanate from disintegration. He protected it from the fury of the Mongols and gave a legal and independent status to it in the community of the Islamic states. He was an empire builder who strove to accomplish the unfinished task of Qutbuddin Aibak in laying the foundation of the Sultanate of Delhi. So, all this is all about Iltutmish. By this, I end my session here only. I hope you like it and found it useful. Thank you for watching and listening the video.